Kate Baker, sister of Leslie, is now going to have some remarks. We're talking about her sister.
Thank you, Pastor Bruce. Dana, you did a wonderful job. That was wonderful. And you need to go into public speaking. You did a phenomenal job.
I'm trying. I'm working with them, but I'm trying.
As you saw in those pictures, Leslie was just such a sweet spirit. And I did not know her. You just got to see her in these pictures. It was an honor, and a blessing, and it was a gift to know my sister. And all my brothers and sisters would back her up because there was only one Leslie. When Leslie was in the hospital the last few weeks, she asked for that song, Give Me Jesus. And I remember she was in the hospital room, and I went in there because I was so excited I had downloaded that song. She was asleep. And she's resting there so peacefully, and I started playing the song. She was like an angel. That's what she was. She was an angel here on earth. She just starts very sweetly singing that song. And she's hooked up to all these apparatuses. You see her lift her left hand. So it's just like an angel, as if she's just orchestrating heaven's choir. And it was just such a blessing. I'm so glad I downloaded that song because I didn't know how beautiful it was. It was a very specific artist I found for that version. But what a blessing it was just to be there at that moment in time. So what can I say about my sister? There are no words. She is one of the most humble human beings I've ever met. One of the most humble. So selfless. It was never about herself. She portrayed the fruit of the Spirit, which is summarized in Galatians 5:22. She was full of love, always. She was full of joy. One of the most peaceful individuals I know. She was full of kindness and goodness, faithfulness, such gentleness and self-control. She lived for the Lord, and she led by example. She was a comforter and a peacemaker. She was a comforter and a peacemaker, and any of my brothers and sisters could attest. You could go to her for anything, and just share. And she would stop what she was doing, and she would just pause and listen. She was such an effective listener. Again, she was so selfless. But she listened, and by the time you went to her, don't tell me what you were upset about, but by the time you went to her, you were done talking with her, you had such a peace and joy in your heart, and you always left Leslie laughing. I don't know why and how that happened, but she would always make you laugh. And, but I will say that's how we tend to deal with our stress. We tend to cry a little, but we do prefer to laugh over tears. So there are tears of joy today. And there's so much joy in knowing where she is. But she was a comforter and a peacemaker for all of us. As Einar reiterated just a few minutes ago, she was content with her simple life. She did not need the things of this world to make her happy. While she wasn't monetarily the richest person in this world, she now embraces all the riches and glory of heaven. A few weeks ago, I was cleaning the house, and it was so bittersweet, and it was so exciting at the same time, because I'm cleaning the house, and God just gave me this revelation about Leslie. We had just gotten a diagnosis, a prognosis about her. So we were all in just a state of shock. But what is really cool is that God revealed to me that because of her faithfulness and her obedience as a servant of God, that her time here on earth was complete. And that she would be the first, not the second or third, but she would be the first sibling, brother and sister, to experience his rewards in heaven. It really was a gift because at that moment in time, it was a revelation. I know it was from God, but I went to the hospital the next day and I shared that with Leslie. And she rejoiced in that. She rejoiced in that. She smiled with that big smile that she has and the big old dimples. She smiled, and we just rejoiced together. And she claimed it. Without a doubt, I know exactly where my sister is. So, Leslie was also the glue that held all of us together. She impacted lives in such a mighty way. And I'll never be able to fill her shoes, but she has impacted so many lives in such a mighty way. And yet she was a silent warrior for the Lord. As a sister, as a wife, as a foster mother, Desiree, as a social worker. She was a solid foundation for so many. She was my angel on earth. I know she was an angel to everybody else she came in contact with. So as I close with just a couple more things, I wanted to say 1 Corinthians 13:4 summarizes Leslie's qualities. This is her in a nutshell. Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, and it does not boast. It is not proud. Unless there was none of those things. She was not a boastful person. She was not proud. It was all about you giving back to others. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects. It always trusts, always hopes, and always perseveres. Love never fails. And as her little sister, I can tell you, Leslie protected us. She gave us hope through Jesus Christ. And she loved everyone unconditionally. So the scripture that has given me peace over the last 4 weeks, and throughout my life is Ecclesiastes 3. There is a time and season for everything under the heavens. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to weep and a time to laugh. A time to mourn and a time to dance. What you need to know is that I discussed these scriptures with Leslie. And we discussed everything. What we were going to be saying.